Good evening. I'm Matthew Smith, and I am the choir teacher here at Lake Orion High School, but I also am teaching Exploring Popular Music. This quarter, your student has been enrolled in this class, and I look forward to working with them. I'm going to present a PowerPoint here going over the class a little bit, some details, and then that'll be it. Okay, so here's the slideshow. Welcome to Curriculum Night 2020. And this is for Exploring Popular Music, or as we call it, EPM. So if I say EPM, that's what I'm talking about, just the acronym for the class. So some of the class expectations, the most important one is that they come to class. It's very important that they're here. If they're not present, they can't be part of the conversation. They can't be part of the actual, the lessons. While every class is recorded and posted to Teams, nothing beats the actual live lesson because you can ask questions in the moment, and you can have more interaction with your classmates and work together, and just, many hands make light work, and it's important that they're here to class. But that is a transition right into asking questions, no matter how basic they may seem. As soon as a question comes to a child, they need to ask it. As soon as it comes to their head, they got to raise their hand. They got to ask the questions. I'd rather them ask lots of questions than no questions, because if they don't ask questions, when I say, okay, guys got it, and I hear nothing, I assume they have it, and so I move on. And then when it comes to applying what the knowledge is or an assessment and they don't get it, that I can't answer the questions for them. They've got to make sure they ask when they have the questions. It's very, very important. In this time of being online and dealing with new technology and new platforms and whatnot, and a new style of learning altogether, we need to be patient, we need to be positive. So far, the students have been great in being patient with me, being, figuring out the technology aspect. I feel like I'm, a little behind in how to work it all, but try to make it happen. But they've been very helpful, very patient, and remaining positive. But also not just with myself, but with themselves, because there's gonna be times where they get frustrated, but also with each other. And they just gotta remember that, we are writing this book as we're reading it. So we've got to make sure that we keep our eye on what's really important and what we're doing together. They need to participate in class activities and discussions. Again, don't just, don't sign on and just be online and there. I want them to be, no pun intended, but they need to be plugged in, active. They need to be part of the discussion. Again, nothing is not worth contributing. Be part of the conversation, be part of the discussion, ask questions, all of that. It's important that they complete all the outside class work before we meet. Okay. Our class times, the amount of times that we see each other are cut in more than half. So we just have a lot of material to cover. We have a lot of information to disseminate and work together with. And it's important that whatever work they have outside of class, they complete it before we have class, so they can come to the next class prepared for the discussions, and we can move on. Because if we have to keep backtracking and going over things, we won't get anywhere, and that's just not fun. Students must attend any office hours that they are scheduled for. So if I ask them and schedule them for a meeting time during office hours, they're required to be there. And vice versa. If they need to see me, if they want to see me, they can schedule time with me, and just like I'd be required to see them, they're gonna be required to see me. So they just gotta make sure that they know that. I won't schedule office hours less than 24 hours in advance. So the day before. So if I need to see them for their Thursday office hours, I would let them know no later than Wednesday. I try to let them know as early as possible, but usually it'll be 1 or 2 days before, so that way we can schedule something. Have fun. They need to have fun. They need to enjoy this. They need to go at this with an open mind. They need to just have fun. That's all I'm going to say. And again, ask questions. It's such a huge thing. I feel like students are afraid to ask questions. and they can't be afraid to ask questions, especially in this new learning environment. They as soon as it comes to their mind, they need to put their hand up with a little hand up icon thing that we have in our teams, and I'll call on them and I'll ask, I'll answer the question. Um, they need to ask questions. That's the most important thing. As soon as it pops in their head, put that hand up and I'll answer the question. Odds are they're not the only one with that question in their head, but it's very, very important. So anyway, moving on. Class materials. So they need to have the device to access class meetings. So, so they can sign on and be part of the Teams meeting and be part of the discussions and also do the homework and assignments that are outside of class. Headphones are optional. I find it's a little more optimal just for the fact of it's a clearer sound. And then when we're doing listening, there's less distractions, there's fewer distractions. When we're going to be doing some recording analysis and whatnot, to not have the extracurricular sounds around them, to make sure that they're hearing exactly what they think they're hearing. If they have headphones, I would recommend that they use them. If they don't have headphones, don't go out and buy some. It's not necessary, but like I said, it's just a helpful tool, and I think it makes it easier. A microphone, again, to attend the meetings and be able to talk. I mean, the computer comes with a microphone in it. Also, a lot of the headphones these days have microphones in them, and those are important to be able to be part of the conversation, but also to make any video recordings or audio recordings that I might have them make in terms of presentations or whatnot that they need to have for class. Pen, pencil, and paper, something to write with and a piece of paper. I prefer pencil, but some kids like to prefer use pen. That's fine. There's times where I'm going to say, hey, write this down, take a note of this. If they don't want to take handwritten notes, they can they can type up notes. That's fine. But they need to, again, it's just part of me that actively engaged. It's like, make sure you get this down because you're going to need to know this. That's kind of like the red flag. Hey, this is coming up on something, so make sure that you know this. Make sure you get this down and you study it. Sorry, there we go. Okay. Now we're going on to class meeting times. So here's a schedule of what the day would look like. So you can see, like I said, I'm the choir teacher as well. So I've got my choir classes in there, but also I have EPM in there as well. So as you will notice, on Mondays and Thursdays are when EPM has the office hours. And those are scheduled from 9 until 10:30 on Monday and 7:30 to 9 on Thursday. And again, it's not required that students are there unless I ask them to be there, whether it be an individual or a small group. But also, I'm also available during those times if the student needs to meet with me, if they have any questions or extra help with anything or whatnot, or if they need to get caught up on anything, if they miss a class and they don't quite understand, what they missed. And then our actual class time is on Tuesday and Friday from 1 until 3. A lot of the times, I shouldn't say a lot of the times, there'll be some of the times where we don't use all 2 hours of that block, just because there's a lot of information that we throw to the kids, and after a while it just starts bouncing off. It doesn't start keep absorbing in. So I realize that there's only so much they can take in and participate in and whatnot. So we will optimize the time. I'll keep an eye on the time. But if class ends at 2:30, class ends at 2:30. If class ends at 1:30, which it'll never end at 1:30. So if class ends at 2, whatever, they're required to be with me until class is done. And I always tell the kids, okay, now class is finished. You may go. And all that kind of stuff. If they miss class, every class is recorded and it gets posted to their specific class team's page, so they can always go back and watch that video and catch the lecture and catch the activities and catch what the assignments are, so they can be caught up. And it's also there for students if they were in class but they couldn't remember how something went or what the assignment was or whatever it is. They can always go back to that reference video, which is good. If you'll notice on Wednesdays, it's all pink, and that's office hours 7:30 to 12. That's across the board for all teachers. You're going to notice that office hours for everybody. Again, where we are readily available, and we're here. If a student needs to get a hold of us, has a question, they can sign on, send a message, they can send an email and say, hey, can we meet? Great, awesome, let's do it. So that's just another day where they have a resource of us. Backtracking to the office hours again, I said 24 hours notice for me to give the students for office hours, and that's just out of courtesy for scheduling and whatnot for kids, because I know that things happen and things are scheduled and whatnot. But for me, if they have a question, sign on to Teams, see if I'm available, shoot me a message, shoot me a chat, shoot me an email. Hey, can we meet? I have a question. And as soon as I'm available, I will meet with them, because the sooner I can get back to them, the better, because I want them to be able to progress and keep going. So they don't need to worry about the 24-hour notice. They just let me know when they want to meet, when they can meet, when they want, all that, and I'll get back to them as soon as possible. Okay, so here is my contact information. There's my email address and the phone number. Um, the phone number works, but I prefer email. It's just an easier form of communication for me. So always try my email first. I'm pretty good about being responsive to the emails within 24 hours. I try to do what I can. Sometimes there's some extenuating circumstances, but I will do my best to be back to you within 24 hours. And that's that. So again, I would like to say thank you to all of you for being here, and I want to say I look forward to this quarter working with your students. So far, we've had some good classes, and I look forward to seeing what we're able to do together. So have a great night, and thanks for coming.